Hey, good morning, everyone. Happy Thursday morning to you, and welcome back to Morning Musings. Hey, look, we're just almost out of time. This month. Don't forget the 3-book special. If you purchased these 3 books separately, independently, you'd be spending right at $60. But for the month of February, what's left of it, we shall meet him in the air, the wedding of the King of Kings, the last days identified, and in flaming fire. Total delivered price to you for in U.S., continental U.S. orders only. Okay, sorry. If you're out of the U.S. and you want these books in PDF form, contact me through the website and I'll instruct you on how to order that. Okay? For the books themselves, continental U.S. orders only, total delivered price $40. Save yourself almost $20. All right? So go to my website, donkpreston.com, BibleProphecy.com. There's a tab right up at the top of the page. Just click on it. It'll walk you right through it. All right. Revelation chapter 1, verse 7. Behold, he is coming with the clouds, and every eye shall see him, even those who pierced him. And all the tribes of the earth will mourn because of him. Even so, amen. Now don't forget, folks, this was said in verses 1 to 3, these things must shortly come to pass, the time is at hand. Now we're being told, every eye shall see him. Well, the normal rendering of this, the normal way that most people look at this, it says every eye. Did every eye on the globe see Jesus coming in AD 70? Well, you see, in the first place, since we live on a globe, if Jesus came down, let's say over New York City, guess what? Folks in Australia couldn't see him. And if it came on Tuesday, it would be what? Wednesday, or maybe it would be Monday. I've forgotten how that works. Been over to Australia 3 times and I still can't figure the time difference out. Point of fact is, if you're talking about a literal visible descent of a 5'5" Jewish man in a physical body out of heaven, people on the other side of the globe cannot see him. But all of that aside, notice that we are emphatically told the focus, of this coming of Christ. Read it carefully. Every eye will see him, even, you see, this is sort of kind of exegetical. And what that means is, let me define for you every eye, John was being told. The every eye that would see him refers to those who pierced him. Even those who pierced him. Now look, folks, this is confirmed back there in Zechariah chapter 12, verse 10, which is being quoted right here in Revelation chapter 1. What did Zechariah have to say about this time? Well, when we go back there to Zechariah, I forgot to turn over there before beginning. And so let's read this together. I will pour out on the house of David and on the inhabitants of Jerusalem the spirit of grace and supplication. Then they will look on me whom they pierced. See, that's Revelation 1:7. Now watch this. Yes, they will mourn for him as one mourning for his only son, grieve for him as one grieves for a firstborn. In that day there shall be great mourning in Jerusalem, like the mourning of Hadad Rimmon in the plain of Megiddo. And the land, what land is that? That's the land that belongs to Jerusalem and Judah. And the land shall mourn, every family by itself, the family of the house of David by itself, their wives by themselves, the family of the house of Nathan by itself, and their wives by themselves, the family of the house of Levi by itself. You know, the Levites were in Jerusalem. Their wives by themselves, the family of Shammai by itself, and their wives by themselves, all the families that remain, every family by itself, and their wives by themselves. Who is the focus of the mourning? Jerusalem, and Judea. And thus when John quotes from Zechariah 12 and says, every eye shall see him, even those who pierced him, and all the tribes of the earth shall mourn. Folks, we're left little doubt here. This is talking about the time when Jesus was crucified and the ensuing judgment on Jerusalem and Judea. And it says all the tribes. Well, once again, the word tribe there is phuli. Phuli is used 31 times in the New Testament, and it almost invariably refers to the tribes of Israel, the 12 tribes. In other words, this is the way it's used in the book of Revelation for certain. So we are given extremely powerful contextual evidence that says, okay, he is coming with the clouds. This Jesus, whom they had crucified, had been made Lord and Christ, Acts 2:36. He is King of kings and Lord of lords. The right and the prerogative of judgment had been given to him, John 5:21 and following. Henceforth the Father judges no one, but has given all authority, all judgment to the Son, that all men might honor the Son as they honor the Father. The Son was coming in the glory of the Father, Matthew 16:27. He was coming as King of kings and Lord of lords, riding on the clouds of heaven, which means he was not coming in a visible physical body. So, behold, he's coming with the clouds. Every eye will see him, even those who pierced him, the tribes of the earth. Greek word gi, which is better translated here as land. What land is that? Well, Zechariah told us, the land of Judea. And thus from Zechariah 12 to 14, Matthew 24. Matthew 24, remember, is posited at the time of the abomination of desolation, which would be set up where? In Judea, witnessed by Jesus' apostles. And the ensuing great tribulation from which those in Judea could flee. And immediately after that tribulation, they would see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. To Jesus saying, verily I say unto you, this generation will by no means pass until all, not some, not a little bit of it, not even most of it, but until all of these things are fulfilled. And Jesus was not saying, well, the time of childbearing, the time of having babies will not pass until these things are fulfilled. That's just, that's just utterly ridiculous. But then we come to Revelation 1. These things must shortly come to pass. The time is at hand. He comes on the clouds. All the tribes of the earth, of the land, will mourn, even those who pierced him. Folks, we're given every clue in the world. If our minds are open to accept the testimony, the evidence that is right there on the pages of the inspired text. Instead of reading into it something that is not there, instead of formulating our understanding of the text from the text, we bring our preconceived theology and we impose it on the text. That's eisegesis. It is not exegesis. And thus we have extremely powerful evidence. I would say overwhelming evidence that Matthew chapter 24 and verse 30 had to have been fulfilled at the time of the judgment of Old Covenant Judea and Jerusalem for being guilty of the blood of Christ and of his apostles. That's where we will pick up this study on the next time. Don't forget, we will continue our examination of Mr. Lance Conley's book, chapter 8, and his doctrine of the election on the flip side. See you there.